welcome back to Polydom. Today we're going to take a look at spanking, and whilst you might think that this is a really simple and easy fetish to be able to include, there are different techniques you can use that render different results. So we're going to take a look at a few of those, as well as the correct form to be able to use so that way you don't injure yourself or your partner unexpectedly. So let's go. Technique 1, sensation place spanking. Now, this particular kind of technique is designed as a catalyst towards increasing sensitivity. So you will mainly use these sorts of spanking techniques if you're doing something such as role play or light erotic play. The main method of this is to spank either firmly or lightly, but stop intermittently to include other things such as light touch with your fingers or nails. You could potentially use a feather or other object in which to create an enhanced sensitivity, or you can even change the temperature of your hands by covering them in cold water or ice in between, so that way you can then create different types of temperature changes in the spanking. This will increase the tingling sensation and excitement for that sort of thing, as it is a more effective way of being able to bond with your submissive to play in that way, which isn't designed as a harsh way. So this technique would not work well for things such as humiliation or discipline, but is very, very good for that erotic play and role play. So that's that version. Technique 2, consistent spanking. Just as the name suggests, it is consistent. This is where you will build from a low intensity up to a more higher intensity throughout the course of your session with this. The best way, if you're not familiar or haven't experienced it for very much, then you would want to go with a 1-2 count. This is so that way you can keep consistent timing throughout the entire thing as you build up intensity. For a better guide, this is what it sounds like. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, as you build up in intensity, you will have to watch out for a few things. If your play partner or submissive is not returning to the position at which you left them in, or is recoiling too much, or you fear that maybe too much damage is being put onto them, then you need to be able to stop and pause and check in with your submissive, as well as the fact that your play partner should also be doing their part as an active submissive and inform you if they are being pushed beyond their limits. The best part about this type of technique is that it's designed for those who really just want to experience spanking as a fetish just on its own. So not as part of a role play or as part of humiliation or discipline, but people who just really enjoy just focusing in on the sensation of spanking. This is because it keeps such a consistency that the person enjoying it and the person administering it can just get into the flow of the routine of it and be able to build up intensity that way. And that can be really fun all on its own. It is those who enjoy a bit of pain will go to a higher intensity, and those who just enjoy the consistency of the spanking sensation will probably keep to the lower to mid range of intensity. But always make sure to discuss that before you start, as it's a little hard to be able to communicate halfway through. And finally, technique 3, cold spanking. Just like cold caning, it will not include a warm-up. It is going to be mainly used for humiliation or for discipline in your play. This will mean that rather than having a build-up or a consistent stream of spanking, you will use it to either stop what your submissive is doing or to punish them for poor behaviour or not doing a task correctly. This will be where the cause of your strikes and your spanking will be instant sort of intensity and shock, and is designed to create that humiliation or to put them back in line. This will be where you might put them over the table, spank them, and it's part of you establishing your dominance in that moment. This does not mean that you need to strike them with full intensity when you hit someone for spanking, but it doesn't mean that there's no shock for intensity with that either. You will have that tingling sensation and vibration through the person's body. So just make sure that you put them in a position that isn't going to force them over. So make sure it's over a desk or over a bed or on all fours. So that way you're not allowing them to fall forward or to strike anything else other than where you're trying to strike. And that would be cold spanking. And that was spanking. I hope that you enjoyed the video and that these techniques will be useful to anyone who is attempting to get into spanking as one of their fetishes. As always, if you want to see the live demonstration, you can just go over to the Patreon account and it should be uploaded soon. I hope that you will subscribe and like this video, and I will see you next time on Polydom. Bye!